All right, it says William is building a scale model of a Boeing 747. The wingspan of the model is approximately 8 feet, 10 and 1/16 inches. If the scale factor of the model is approximately 1 to 24, what is the actual wingspan? All right, so it's in a ratio of 1 to 24, correct? Now, so basically, what are we doing? Someone tell me. Tell me.
Multiplying 8 feet, 10 to 16 inches by 24.
That's exactly correct. Is everybody with me on this? Right? Because here's what I want to show you now. Again, for some reason, I say this is easy, and then kids make mistakes on the test. So I want to talk to you about what does 1 to 24 mean. 1 to 24 just means the smallest part is what? 1, which is the model, and the 24 represents the what? The plane, right? The actual model itself, or the actual plane itself, not the model. All right? So in this relationship, the plane is what? 24 times larger, right? The plane is 24 times larger. You could also say that the model is what? 1/24th of the plane. Does everybody agree with this? Now you can set it up as a proportion, but I personally think you should just be able to say, hey, am I multiplying by 24 or am I what? Dividing by 24. Is everybody okay with that? So we're now going to multiply by 24. Now, this right here, look at the answers. The answers are all in what?
Decimal.
Yeah, in feet. So do I really need any inches? No. So I'm curious, how do I write 10 and 1/16 as a foot? What would I do?
Put it over 12.
You just put it over 12. So you can say 10 and 1/16 divided by 12. Does everybody agree with that? Right now, of course, if you want, right, there's a way you can do that on the calculator because, again, now this is really an SAT type question, all right, because some kids have trouble typing that on the calculator, right? So for me, the easiest thing to do would be to type in 10 plus 1 divided by 16. So everybody do that first. So I think that should be like what? 10.0625, right? I think that would be the easiest way to do that. And then do what to that? Divide that by 12, guys. And then your total then would be 8 point what? Just give me the whole thing.
83854.
8, 3, like this? Is this what you're saying?
No, 838.
Oh, 838. Like this, right? Now, where am I getting the other 8 from, though?
Oh.
True. Right, so everybody take a look at that. So I appreciate what you're saying, but we can see the other 8 feet right over here. Does everybody agree with that now? Again, I really like this problem because it makes you understand how to take care of the numbers properly. Does everybody agree with that? So then we just multiply that by what? Multiply that by 24. And what are we getting? What is it? Wait a minute. No, you forgot the 8, didn't you? You agree with me? So it's 8.83854 times 24, which is roughly what? 212. Now, the test is probably not a multiple choice test because we didn't need to really even do all that work, right? We could have just said, what, 24 times 9. Does everybody agree? And the only one close to 24 times 9 is what? The 200. Come on, is everybody with me on this now? All right. Again, this, I know it's kind of silly, but this is the kind of stuff that could be on the entrance exams that you guys might be taking for the private schools also. Little things like this. All right. Now, obviously not with those numbers because you're not allowed to use a calculator, but something similar with easier numbers. All right. Anybody have any question with number 1? All right, let's take a look at number 2. All right, it says a civil engineer is making a scale model. The length of the model is 4 inches, and the actual length of the ramp is 500 feet. So we're just writing what? 4 inches over what? 500 feet. And then we can reduce that to what? 1 over 125. Yeah, guys. See, I think last year I skipped this, but just because I think it's really too easy. All right. Now it says how many times as long is the actual so how many times as long? I don't think it's, the reason why I don't think it's A, because of the units are different. Do you see what I'm saying on that? Because an inch, 125 feet is not 125 greater than 1 inch. Do you agree? So what should I have to do? Yeah, convert the feet to inches, correct? So it would be, what's 125 times 12? Yeah, so it's actually, now watch, 1 inch is to 1,500 what? Inches. And then what can happen to the inches? Well, no, we don't have to convert them to feet. We can now cross them out. Because what I want you to do is I want you to think of them in terms of what? As a fraction. The reason why we couldn't cross out the units before is because we did not have the same units. Is everybody okay with this now? So again, you have to be careful on that. Because it's asking how many times bigger, the units have to be the same. All right? So correct answer for that was C. All right? So then, how many times as long as the model is the actual ramp? We'd say what? Yeah, right? It's 1,500 times greater. Any issues, guys? Yeah, I think it's easy. All right, here we go. Let's see if number 5. Now it says a movie director is creating a scale model of the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building is 1,250 feet. The model is 75 inches tall. Now, I just think it's important to look at the choices. All right, so we want 75 over what? 75 over 1250. Now, can I remove the units?
No.
No, because it would be inches to feet. All right. So now, tell me what that reduces to. 3 over 50? So 3 inches for every what? 50 feet. How tall would the model be if the director uses a scale 1 inch is to 75 feet? So 1 inch is to 75 feet. And right now the actual is what? 1,250, right? So you all can cross multiply, divide, or just divide it by 75, right? Because you're getting smaller. What would it be? Go ahead, tell me. 16. So it would be 16 and 2/3 what though? 16 and 2/3 inches, right? Well, 16 inches would be what? Wow.
2/3 of 12.
Yeah, but you came up with what? So multiply that by, or I'm sorry, divide that by 12. Just take 16, take your answer and divide it by 12, what will it come out to be? 1.38 repeating. So that would be what? So that would be feet. Right? And 0.38, multiply your 0.38 by 12. And that will tell you how many inches there are. So do 0.38 repeating, or minus 1 and then times 12. And what does that come out to be, guys? About how much? Yeah. So, yeah. That's kind of weird. So let's do this. Let me make sure that's correct. So, yeah, that should be the answer. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they made a mistake on that. Yeah, I think the answer is A. I think they just made a mistake. Because 1 inch is to 75 feet, and it's 1,250 feet tall. So double check, 1,250 divided by 75. Is that what it was? Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm not sure why there's a little bit different on that. What did you get? Well, think about it though. If 1 inch is to 75 feet, do you agree with that? I thought there would be something, you know. So that means that if I do, yeah, I'm sure that's right. I'm sure 1,250 divided by 75 should be the answer in inches. But this is almost, that's like 20 inches. That's way too, you see what I'm saying? That's too much, right? So I do think there's a mistake on number 6. I'll go back and look at it. All right, let's look at number 7 now. I would just put 16 2/3 inches. I think that would be the best answer. 16 2/3 inches. All right, especially since they have what? Especially since they have the scale in inches. All right, let's look at number 7 now. Oh yeah, now this is the one I actually saw on an SAT and an ACT, something very similar to this. All right, so I want everybody to take a look at this and make sure you're good. Sorry about that. All right, so the original painting is 77 by 53. So I want you to kind of draw it out so you can understand what I'm saying. All right, so if we said this was 77 centimeters and this is 53 centimeters. So we want it on an 8.5 by 11 inch. All right, that's the nice thing about this. So we want it 8.5 by 11. Do you agree with me on this? Now the question is that, can I, without distorting it, shrink it down to fit exactly on 11 by 8.5? What? Why not?
This 7 divided by 11.
Yeah. Here, look now. Come on, guys. And again, this is kind of an important problem. So, it looks like if I divide by 7, right? That would be nice because then it would fit exactly on the what? 11, right? But then what happens if I do 53 divided by 7? What's that? Yeah. So again, would it fit though? In other words, if I converted down this, if I divide it by 7, will fit exactly across there, correct? But then this will go what? This will only go down to what? Somebody do 53 divided by 7 for me. Tell me what that is. 7 point what? 5714, whatever. All right. So this would be 11 inches by 7.5. So what I'm trying to explain to you is it possible to reduce it down to exactly 11 by 8.5? The answer is no, because it will be what? It'll be distorted if you do. Does everybody understand that? Right? So what I did was I just shrunk this down. So I think that would be the best, right? Because what if I wanted to shrink the 53 down to 8.5? So everybody do for me 53 divided by 8.5.
6.235.
Right, so I would be dividing by 6.2 what? 235. Now do 77 divided by 6.235.
12.3.
So is it going to fit? Hey, does everybody understand what I'm trying to show you something now. It's not the easiest thing in the world to explain. Right? I'm trying to make sure you understand what I'm saying. I want to reduce the largest side down to this largest side over here, right? So I just say, well, what's 77 divided by 11? 7. And then I took 53 and divided by 7. And that ended up being what? 7.5714. Everybody agree with that? So what did I do? To make sure it wasn't going to fit exactly on the postcard, so I would just cut the postcard off a little bit and be perfect dimensions, a reduction of that painting. Does everybody agree with that? Now the question is, well, why couldn't I do it to the short side? Right? If I do it to the short side, I would do 53 divided by what? 8.5, right? And that would tell me how many times I reduced this down to this. Do you agree? But if I reduce this by that amount, I would also have to reduce what? The other side by the same amount. And if I reduce that by the same amount, it will be larger than 11. So it won't work that way.
Do you have to change because the other one is in centimeters?
Well, I think that's what this is right here, man. I think that's what we have to figure out now. Right? So to me, it would be 77 centimeters to what? 11 inches would be the scale. Does everybody see what I'm getting at there?
Yeah.
All right. Now, again, if I write that down, I'm always looking at my solutions, right? So if I said 77 centimeters to 11 inches, I wouldn't have a problem with that. It would just be what? 7 centimeters to what? 1 inch. And which you can clearly see, then the answer would be what?
C.
The answer would be C. All right? Now again, like I said, the reason why I spent some time, I dug this question up is because I've seen it on the SAT and the ACT now, where you have to actually reduce something down to fit. All right? And in order to do that, you just have to take, again, I don't like to normally tell kids this, but you're taking the largest side and reducing it down to the largest side on the other side. Because if you do the small side, it won't work. All right? Yes.
I looked on the answer key for the one that we thought the answer is wrong for, and it says it's D.
Yeah, I was thinking that was
For number 6?
Yeah.
That's what I got. Yeah, that's what
I didn't do it the way.
Well, what did
I
we...
don't know what happened.
Well, 16 feet. Well, what's 16 feet?
So that's a foot.
How tall would the model be?
So that says 16 inches and 12 inches is a foot. So that's 1 foot. And they went over and we went over by 1 foot. So it's under. So that's the closest answer. I think they just messed up.
Yeah, but I think it would have been better if they would have said the scale is 1 to 75. Right? Not have the inches to feet.
But yeah, you need to.
Then that would be the same. Do you agree?
Yeah, you need to change it so that it's.
Right. Does everybody see that now? I think the mistake is not in this problem right here, but the fact that they have what? Yeah, come on. I didn't even, so whoever just noticed that, thank you. That's a good observation. This right here, we should just come up and do this, guys. Just convert this to the scale is 1 to what? 1 to 75. Uh-oh. I erased the wrong thing. The scale is just 1 to 75. Does everybody see that? Then that would be correct. All right, because when you say 1 inch for every 75 feet, that's literally what that means. For every 75 feet, you construct something that's an inch. All right, so thank you for that. That's exactly what they meant. They should have just put 1 to 75. All right, and now we can go back and say that that's the correct answer. All right, let's eliminate this then. All right, that was excellent. All right, thank you. Let's continue on. All right, number 8. Lacey made a scale model of her house. Her house is 45 feet tall. Her model is 9 inches tall. What is the scale of model and how many times as tall as her house? All right, so here's my recommendation on this. All right, my recommendation is to use, well, I think they want you to do what? They want you to put 45 feet over 9 inches, right? 45 feet to 9 inches. And so the scale is actually what? 5 feet to what? 5 feet to 1 inch. All right, but the problem is how many times as tall is her house? What would it be? What would that answer be? Say it. I think it'd be 60 times greater. You with me on this? All right. The scale is what? 5 feet to 1 inch, right? The trick here is that you have to have the same units when you want to figure out how many times greater something is. All right, so 5 feet is what? 60 inches. So 60 inches to 1 inch, and then we can cross out the inches. So it's 60 times greater. The actual house is 60 times greater. Everybody good on that? All right, let's check out number 9. Andrew made a scale model of the Washington Monument. The monument is 555 feet tall, and his model is 15 inches tall. So 555 feet to what? 15 inches. All right. Does that go in evenly?
Yeah.
What is it?
111 to
100. $555 divided by 15. What is that?
37.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thought. So we have 37 feet is to 1 inch. And so now tell me what 37 times 12 is. 444 times greater. So everybody agree with that? Because we just did what? 37 times 12. Easy. All right, let's go on. Number 10. A replica of a statue is 6 inches tall. The height is 111 feet. What is the scale of the replica? So it would be what? 6 inches to what? Well, I'll just write inches. 6 inches is to 111 feet. Does that go evenly? No, it does not. But if I divide by 3, right? It is 2 inches is to what? To 37 feet. All right, and if you wanted to, because it divides, you could say 1 inch is the same as what? 18.5 feet. That wouldn't be bad. I don't care if you leave it the other way though. So how many times? So 12 times 18.5 is what? 222 times. Greater. All right, we'll just do a couple more. A map has a scale factor of 0.25 is to 50 miles. Now for me, whenever I do those fractions, I just convert it to what? 1 inch is to what? Yeah, 1 inch is to 200 miles. I think that's easier instead of doing the fractions. Everybody see that? So if you have 2.5 inches, you have what? That's pretty easy, right? 500 miles, right? Anybody have any questions with that? All right, guys. I don't think there's anything really that hard. Yeah. All right. What number is that? All right. So you have what? 9 more problems. You can do that. All right. Finish up those 9. Did I give you the answers?
Yes.
Yeah, the answers are down there. So go ahead and double check everything. Yes, I'm listening. 13, 13, 13. Yeah, I think that's kind of the same. She decides to use a scale of 1 inches to 5 feet.
Yeah, but
Would her drawing fit on the index card? So let's see. I don't mind doing this one because I think it's good. All right. 5 inches. So her car is 12 feet long. But anyway, if it's 12 feet long, that means it would have to be what? You could do wow.
the answer said yes, but I got no.
Well, if it's 12 feet, hey, what do you think? I know the answer said
It said 6 inches, but that's not right.
no. I think they got it backwards. You with me? Because if 1 inch is equal, if 1 inch equal to half a foot, that means 2 inches is to 1 feet, which would require 24 inches.
Yeah, so it doesn't fit.
No. Yeah, they made a mistake. They made a mistake.
Yeah. Because it was saying how many times is the replica over
We'll talk about that. You with me? Because when they asked about the replica, but again, that's, you know what I'm saying? It is a detail. Again, you would know that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The replica's not always small, actually.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I see what you mean.
All right, I appreciate that. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Remind me. And then, because I'll